San Mateo Zoo.
What's that all about?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on?
How you guys doing? My name is Jeremy from the San Mateo Zoo. Today I'll be doing a bald fade on Carlo. That's Brandon from All Out Foul.
What's up, yo?
These are the tools I'll be using today. Dry shavers, Oster fast feeds, the Andes Masters with the fade blade on it, two sets of Andes T-liners. These are the guards I'll be using, the Andes clipper guards. Throughout the cut, you'll hear me using the term open and close. Blade open looks like this, blade closed looks like that. Same with the Andes Masters, open, closed. Today we'll be doing a bald fade with a number 3 on top, but before we cut this down, we're just gonna bald out, make that first line with the liners. You wanna make sure that when you make the line around the head, it's as symmetrical as possible. And what I do is use the eyebrows as markers, or anywhere on the face as markers, to make sure everything's symmetrical. To me, this first line is one of the most important parts because it kind of dictates the way your fade is going to come out. Carlo has a lot of hair going the opposite way. You want to make sure you go against the grain, because if you go with the grain, you're not going to cut much hair, as you can see right here. So always just go against the grain. Usually this is the most comfortable way for the customer. A lot of people tend to do this, scrape the head. It's just as effective, but it's uncomfortable to the customer. For those of you barbers starting off, you want to kind of train yourself to be light with your hands. In between cuts, you want to make sure you get all the hair off. You want to make sure that it's completely bald everywhere, even some parts where you think there's no hair, there is hair there. Get in there. So when you're done, like I said, you want to use the eyebrows as a marker. When you think you're done, just check if it's symmetrical. If it's not, even it out. Don't worry about speed. The speed will come, because in this line of work, what's the word I'm looking for? Dang, what's that word? Precision. All right. Basically, don't rush that shit. Next step, use the shavers, whatever shavers you have. Now this gets it really bald. Now with this, I usually make another line just under the first line I made. Pretty much as close to a straight razor, but faster, efficient, safer. Notice how I made another line. Now I'm using a different set of shavers. Just be careful when you're trying to knock this line out, because what some people do, they end up going higher and higher and higher, and they can't knock that line out. This part can be kind of tricky sometimes. This is where your touch comes in. So we're gonna do a 3/8 close, which is basically a number 3. It's not that. You don't want to worry about getting it all even. You just want to cut down the bush. You're just cutting the hair down. So the next step is fast feeds closed. Make another line. Again, you want to make sure everything is even. Next step, you may notice on the camera that there is another line there up here, and that line that I made previous step is still there, so we're gonna knock that out. The Masters fade blade. I got the fade blade on here. Whatever you use, Wall Seniors, anything that gets close enough to get that line out. Sometimes your Masters won't knock certain parts of the line out. You gotta use your liners. Whatever you gotta do to get that line out. What I'm gonna do, the next step, open up the blade and make another line. So if you haven't noticed by now, the trend in my steps, I'm taking one step up, come back down, one step up, work back down. So throughout the years, I figured out for me that this is the easiest way, simplifies everything. It's pretty much dummy proof. Because when I make this line, all I gotta worry about is knocking out that next line under it. Now you know that you don't have to go higher than this line to knock this line out. Some people skip steps, go up here. It just leaves a lot of room for them to make a mistake. Right here, all you're worried about is knocking that next line out. So I made that next line with the masters open. Now I work down, knock this line out. Close it halfway, close it pretty much halfway. Just do whatever you gotta do to knock that line out. Play with the levels a little bit. All you know is that you don't have to go higher than this to get this line out. Rushing. So now I'm gonna go back with my fast feeds and get the 1/16 closed. Make another line. If you notice the trend, I'm pretty much doing the same thing over and over again, just with a different guard. Just going one step higher, come back down, knock that line out. One step higher, knock that line out. Notice how I'm kind of holding it like a pencil. That's just my way of doing it. A lot of people do this. Whatever is comfortable with you. As long as you're light-handed. You gotta remember to stay light-handed. Alright, so the next step, you pretty much know what I'm gonna do now. We'll go back to the fast feeds open. This is where you gotta use, again, your touch. Because depending on the hair, it'll be easier or harder to take that line out. This is one of the things I can't teach you. With your touch, you gotta learn that on your own. And eventually you'll either get it or you won't. So what I mean by touch is that you don't want to just go straight up. This part involves some skill. So you kind of flick out. Flick out slowly, work your way up. You'll see the line disappear. Notice how the line is still there. It's vaguely there, but it's still there. You gotta knock that out. Really light on your hands. The motion is go up and out, not just straight up, because you'll end up making another line. Throughout the cut, you might see a line here and there. If you do, knock that out. Play with the guards and the position of the blade. Because depending on the hair, it could be easier, it could be harder to take that line out. Next step, I'll go back with the 1/16 open. The step before that I made with this line, I used the 1/16 closed. All I'm gonna do now, take another step up, open that blade, make another line. You might be asking yourself, how much space do I put in between steps? I can't tell you how much space to put in between each step because everybody's head is different. Some heads you got more room to work with, some you don't. So now you're starting to, as each step goes up, you're starting to notice the fade kind of come out. This is where it gets kind of fun. Notice that with each step, everything is even. I'm making as straight line as possible around the head. So the next step gets kind of tricky. I used the 1/16 open, and the step before that was 1/16 closed. So I'm constantly messing with the levels. I'm going higher, lower, trying to do whatever I got to do to knock that line out. That's why I always thought my step, like throughout the years, I figured out that this is the easiest way to teach somebody how to cut. Now, I'm not saying that this is the way you have to do it. This is the easiest way for me. You learn from other people's techniques, whether they do it wrong to you or they do it right. You learn something. You gotta be ready to learn something off everybody. There are times where you're gonna mess somebody up. It happens. That's just what it comes with. You're not gonna be good right away. Notice how I took the guard off. I seen another line, just knocked it out. So in between steps, you might notice a line here and there at the bottom. When you try to work back down, be real careful because you don't want to end up making another line. So what I do sometimes, if I'm not sure, I'll take a bigger guard and see where it starts cutting at. If it's not cutting, work your way down real slow. Give yourself room for error because when you mess up at this part, it gets really hard to save it. Now I'm gonna go back with the number 3, the 3/8 closed. Go back over this, make sure everything's even. So the next step, I'm gonna switch gears. See how I was working my way up? I'm gonna work my way down the opposite way. This on top was a 3/8 closed. So what I'm gonna do is go next step down and use the 1/4 open. And I'm gonna pretty much hit everything around here. Not making a line, just hitting that area. Not worrying about being precise, but you just don't want to cut off the top. And right now you're gonna be using your touch. You don't want to just pull straight in because you'll end up making a line. So make sure to flick out. So when I'm through doing that, I still got the same guard on there, 1/4 closed. Do the same exact thing, except go a little bit lower. Remember, you're working your way down. Now your judgment with how far down you go and how far up you go, that's on you. Just work your way down slowly. And you can start to see the fade show a little bit more, like it's slowly getting in there. Now this is where it gets really tricky. Now I'll work my way down one more step, which is the 1/8. This is where your touch comes in. This is where a lot of mistakes start to happen. Yeah, this is where you
Make or break a cut.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now I'm pretty much finished with the fade. This part right here, it can be a problem. For some reason, this spot stays dark. You end up having to do a lot of work right here. Pretty much done. And go to the line. Just make sure you're really light on your hands because these liners are really sharp. Use your fingers as a brace, however you do it, you'll figure it out. Some people like to do this, put their index finger on the bottom. Sometimes I use both hands to stabilize it. Like right now I'm using my fingers, the back of my fingers as a brace and holding this head at the same time. Again, I'm using all my fingers now, using both hands, just using my fingers as a stabilizer. Take your time with the line too. Just give yourself room to work with. You don't want to take it all the way back here and you look back, you're like, oh man. Work your way up slowly. Turn this way. This side is, well, the left side of the hair always gets tricky because for some reason the hair grows out differently. In between your line, you want to step back when you think you're finished. Make sure everything's symmetrical. If it's not, whatever you have to hit to make it straight. All right, we're pretty much done. Now, some of you guys aren't at the razor yet, but I'm going to show you the razor. Traditional barbershops usually use lather. We stopped using that a while ago because it gets messy and takes too much time, and we get pretty busy. So we found out that some pre-aftershave lotion It's not as messy. So what I'm doing with the razor, what you're taught is you pull the skin one way, use your razor to wipe off the hair the other way, pull down, razor goes up. Doing it, we just found that it's more convenient. All right, so face pretty much done. At this point, wipe off all the hair. Any hairs that are sticking out around the neck, some people are hairier than others. Make sure you want to hit it anyways, because it does still make a difference. And the talc, wrap it up. You're good. That's it for the ball fade. I want to thank the San Mateo Zoo, All Out Foul, Fish Eye Films for making this film.
Don't forget to tip the barber.
What up, Jig? Get me on the instrumental. City residential, money is essential. Schizo spits, no shit that's weak. I go apocalypto, Sav on the beat. I'm at home on the mic, kick my feet up. Ozone high, need telescope to see us. In a black thing, backseat mackin'. Says she don't smoke, but she love contactin'. Nah, saying y'all behind me like a last name. Y'all ill, I black plague the rap game. Jordan rockin' 9.5 Air Maxer. Shit talking inglorious bastard. I'm in the hood blowing big with Young J. 18-7 in Atlanta doing 88. Yeah, you can bet I ain't a long shot. Get it off quick like it's one on a shot clock. Swagger jacket, check the way I rip. Gutter blunt twist nuggets, J.R. Smith. Get rah. I'm ill, I'm ill, I'm ill. Rah, rah. I'm ill, I'm ill, I'm ill, I'm ill. Rah, rah. Motherfucker, I'm ill.
Hey.
Motherfucker, I'm ill. Motherfucker, I'm ill. Rah,
Hey,
rah.
hey,
I'm ill, I'm ill, I'm ill, I'm ill. Rah, rah.
I'm ill, dog. No Michael Vick, but I come back sick. Scramble quick, and y'all too slow, or maybe too old. I make this rap shit look easy like free throws. Get to the back of the line, newcomer. Y'all talk a lot of shit, old plumber. If you thinking this is hot, man, no summer. My dudes take samples, chop them like cucumbers. Check the scoreboard, we winning by a landslide. Big dreams are blowing up like landmines. Fly Lansky, one of my allies. We've been doing this since we were yay high. Promote good music since tape decks. Watch from the sidelines, I get Bill Belichick's. Oh, and my lady, you know she break hella necks. Never mind that, I killed this shit, no evidence.
Rah. I'm ill, I'm ill, I'm ill. Rah, rah. I'm ill, I'm ill, I'm ill, I'm ill. Rah, rah. Motherfucker, I'm
So it is.
Good afternoon, everyone. As
What Charlie do? What would Charlie do exactly? Charlie was